So whenever you have a 45, 45, 90, you have x, and this is x, and so the hypotenuse is x square root of 2. Yes. It's not connecting? There you go. It's connected. Thank you. So it's x square root of 2. Great. And now in problem number 1, what is n equals to? If we're missing that n, how much is n supposed to be?
4.
That would be 4, because it's going to be the same thing, right? It's going to be 4. And m would be 4 the square root of 2. That is right. Example number 2. Okay, so then y, what is y equals to?
5.
That would be 5, and x would be
5 square root.
5 square root of 2. So whenever you're looking for the hypotenuse, whatever the leg is, times square root of 2. Now example number 3. So if the hypotenuse is 4 square root of 2, what would be the leg?
4.
And that would be 4.
Oh, this is kind of
I hope it is. So then let me just, rephrase this. So what we're saying is, if we have 45, 45, this is x, this is x, this is x square root of 2. So in reality, what we're doing is whatever the hypotenuse is, you divide by square root of 2, and you get the leg, right? So if you go from the hypotenuse to the leg, you divide.
Is it always going to have the square root of 2 then?
And that's why I'm going over this, Ricardo. Because not all the time you're going to have something like that. Okay? So if you're looking for the leg, if you have the hypotenuse given, you just divide by square root of 2. And if you go the other way around, if you go from the leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by square root of 2. Okay, so then if you go from the leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by square root of 2. If you go from the hypotenuse to the leg, you divide by square root of 2. So in example number 4, and that is very simple, right? What is n and what is m? N is going to be 8, and m is going to be 8, because it's supposed to be the same. Now let me add one. Example number 5. What if the hypotenuse is 12? What's going to be the leg?
2.
Well, what I know is that the property says that if it's x, this is x square root of 2, right? So I know that the 12 represents x square root of 2. So if I want to find x, like I've said, the shortcut is to divide both sides by square root of 2. That way you leave the x by itself. Now the question is, can you leave the denominator with a radical?
No.
The answer is no. You need to, what's the name of the process that you use to get rid of the radical on the bottom? What's the name of that? What would you do? It starts with the R. You rationalize. Yes. So I want to rationalize to get rid of the square root on the bottom. So what do?
You
Multiply by the square root.
Multiply top and bottom by the square root of 2. Okay? And then you just multiply across. And if you want to copy this example on the back, of the paper where you have, or just on that same side, it's okay. So when you multiply, that's going to be 12 square root of 2 divided. What is 2 times 2? 4. So that's the square root of 4. And what is the square root of 4?
2.
That is just 2, right? That is just 2. And 12 divided by 2? 6. So the leg is going to be 6 square root of 2. Okay, so it's 6 square root of 2. So if you go from the hypotenuse to the leg, you divide by square root of 2. Now, example number 6. If you have a 45, 45, 90, by putting the tick marks, I'm saying that it's a 45, 45.
Why is it
Yes.
4? Why are you dividing by 4 and square root 4 and 2?
As I rationalize, I multiply 2 times 2,
Mm-hmm.
and that is 4.
Okay.
And then the square root of 4 is just 2. And then at that point, you just simplify this part right here. And that is 6. Now, what if you have 3 square root of 2? How can I find x and y? Anybody knows any of the two?
Multiply.
You multiply? Okay, what do you multiply to find what? Which one are you looking for? Which one are you thinking of? The hypotenuse? Okay, so then for the hypotenuse, I need to multiply. Why is that? Well, because if I look at the triangle, x, x, x square root of 2, see, x is 3 square root of 2. So if I want to find y, that means that in place of the x, I'm going to put what x is, which is that right there. So to find y is going to be just 3 square root of 2 times square root of 2. And we learn to simplify those type of problems. What do we do here? You multiply outside with the outside, inside with the inside, so that would be what? 3 times 1 is 3, and 2 times 2 is 4. And the square root of 4 is 2, so y equals 6. That's it. Okay? Any questions about a 5 and 6?
Do you
Yes.
have to show your work, or can you just multiply the 3 by 2?
Yes, you have to show the work. Yes, okay. Now let me give you 2 examples. Number 7. Try number 7. If the hypotenuse is 15, what is x, what is y? And number 8. If the leg is 2 square root of 3, what is x and what is y? Okay, so try those 2 and then we'll check the answers for those 2.